Master your anxiety. See, understanding and managing anxiety more effectively starts with recognizing and mapping out your anxiety habit loops. This process, which is rooted in cognitive psychology and behavioral therapy principles, can be a game changer for anyone looking to take control of their anxiety. Let's walk through a step by step guide to help you get started. Step 1, identify the triggers. Triggers are the external events or internal thoughts and feelings that initiate the anxiety response. Pay close attention to the circumstances of or thoughts preceding feelings of anxiety. These could be specific situations, people, conversations, or even internal sensations. And notice if your anxiety spikes when you receive an email from a specific person or think about an upcoming event, that could be a trigger. Step 2 is to pinpoint the anxiety responses. The response is your immediate reaction to the trigger, which can be emotional, physical, or even both. So observe what happens to your body and mind immediately after encountering the trigger. Do you feel a knot in your stomach? Does your heart rate increase? You might feel a rush of overwhelming worry or experience rapid heartbeat or have difficulty concentrating or even breathing. Notice all of those responses. Step 3 is to identify the behavior. This is the action you take in response to the anxiety. It might be a coping mechanism that temporarily reduces anxiety, or it could be something that long term will be ineffective. Avoiding the situation, procrastinating on a task, or engaging in repetitive checking. Those are some examples. And reflect on what you usually do to alleviate your anxiety. Ask yourself, are those actions helpful or do they perpetuate those feelings? Step 4 is to recognize the rewards. The reward is the short-term gain or relief you get from performing the behavior. It reinforces the loop. So determine what benefits you believe you're obtaining from the behavior. Is it the relief from discomfort, an avoidance of the fear, or maybe even temporary peace of mind? Feeling relieved after canceling an appointment, for example, or feeling safe after avoiding a social event. Step 5 is to map out the loop. Use a diagram or a simple narrative to map out the trigger, response, behavior, and reward. You could even draw a circle and segment it into parts labeled with each step of the habit loop, and then connect them in a way that shows how one leads to the next. For example, you have a trigger. Maybe the trigger is receiving bad news, for example. And maybe your response is feeling incapable or feeling anxious. The behavior could be procrastinating, never having that critical conversation or taking care of what needs to be taken care of. And that reward is the ability to temporarily escape from that anxiety of having to deal with the news. So take that process, trigger, response, behavior, and reward, and map it out for yourself. And step 6 is going to lead you into step 6. That's creating a plan for change. And that's developing strategies to alter your response or behaviors so that way you can break the loop. The first part and the most difficult part is done, which is mapping it out, understanding your triggers and your responses and behaviors. And now that you're aware of that, we can break them. And so we can identify healthier behaviors that can replace the bad ones. Practice these new behaviors until they literally become automatic. And again, the more that you do practice these, the more that you're creating these new brain cells, which means you're strengthening these neural pathways. One day, more and more, it is going to become an automatic behavior, and you won't have to even think about it. It will just become a part of your personality. And so as you move forward day by day, remember to implement mindfulness, reflection. Use these tools to stay aware of your feelings and your responses as they occur. Use these techniques and reflect on your progress and adjust your strategies accordingly. If you regularly check in with yourself to observe if you're reacting in the old patterns, or if you're able to maintain or show yourself new behaviors, that's fantastic. And keeping a daily journal of your triggers, your responses, and how you have handled them will be a great reference for you to see your progress. By systematically recognizing and mapping out your anxiety habit loops, you gain a deeper understanding of the underlying mechanisms, the systems, and how your anxiety truly works. This awareness is a powerful step towards developing more effective strategies that lead to lasting and permanent change, and how you can be sure that the next part of your life will be the best part of your life. It's all about reprogramming your mind. All right, those were some tools for you guys, a step-by-step guide to recognizing and mapping out the anxiety habit loop. We'll see you in the next video.